Welcome all to the second to last edition of the 2016 Bad Quarterback League. With only 1 week to go, some things have become clear and other things have been
made a mess of it.
This week brought to you by a slouching competitor from the Turbush League, Cade McNown. 5 weeks ago, after back-to-back 70-point weeks, Cade essentially anointed himself with a promotion spot with a 100-point lead over everyone else. The previous promotion lock, Mormon, was fading fast and wasn't even in the top 3 anymore. Since week 12, however, the tables have turned. McNown has taken that 100-point lead and followed up with Sesame Street scores 5, 7, -6, 16, and this week's +6. Yet after all that, he is currently tied with Wheaton for the last remaining promotion spot with 1 week to go. If he fails to perform in the final week, I think we have a contender for Mess of the Year.
Ah, Jesus, not again.
It will be tough to beat Jeff Fisher, though. Heading into the final week of the season, we start off the standings once again with Johnny Effie Moxon, who entered another great score into a sudden rise to the top. He might actually win the league outright, even if you don't include his steroid 24/7 point abuse scandal. 76 points back, we find Wade Wilson? That's right, the seesaw of scores continues, as the person who has spent the most time in the relegation zone outside of Triple T has now risen to the silver spot. His best week this season is 89, and he's going to have to match or exceed that to come close to bumping the doping king. His 68 this week shows that it could be possible. Speaking of best scores of the season, Chad Hutchinson owns that accolade with his 99 back in week 2, but now he's more known for his steady stream of points. It's keeping him far away from the relegation zone, but also far away from any chance at dethroning Mr. PED. You might as well start calling him Kellen Moore the 4th place whore, because even though he scored over 3 times as much as anyone around him, like a player without Snickers, he's not going anywhere for a while. Spurgeon TSSS win, once 9 points behind first place, now drops to 5th after his worst week since he last graced the relegation zone. Now at 98 points behind Barry Bonds, he needs to worry instead about maintaining his 73-point lead over Pauco heading into the final week and not record another one again. Heed this warning, the 2 people below you will probably be starting the Browns, fuck you Boston, Browns and Rams next week. Be scared. Speaking of scared, Cleo Lemon enters the final week as the man with the most to lose. He has a mere 8-point lead over the relegation zone, so this will be the real battle to watch going into week 17. Or is Tyler Pauco the man with the most to lose? The commissioner has inched his way back from being 27 points back last week to only 8 going into the final week, despite again blowing 50 points in the fucking Boston with the Rams. He drew water from a rock by somehow getting 20 points out of the Lions. Going into the final week, the Rams' choice should be a no-brainer, but does he start Miami against who knows what they'll do New England? Or suddenly lucrative Detroit against a must-win Green Bay? Decisions are never easy when you're in 7th in week 16. Luckily, Pauco is all too familiar with the situation. I really wish Tim Tebow time had been more competitive, and I'd have more to talk about. I think he's done a pretty good job considering all 4 of his teams are either in the playoffs or still in the hunt. Some people draft well, pick bad, and still put up a lot of points. Others rely on votes of confidence instead of actual talent. You were just dealt a bad hand. Or you suck at drafting. Have fun next year with those Turbush rejects.
Boy, oh boy, do we have a shootout in the Turbush League. Mormon has said enough is enough and basically stamped his ticket
Is it possible for you to shut the fuck up for 10 seconds?
back to where he should have been all season. Every Giants pick he has made this season has paid off, and he's benched them every week when they don't pay off. He essentially only had one blunder when he didn't start the Jets a couple weeks back. Other than that, it's been a pretty flawless season. What excuses do the rest of you asshats have? McNown and Whedon are playing swords in the bathroom, and we'll have to wait a whole week to see which one has the bigger schlong.
You said it was a good size!
Sorry, I didn't mean to put that mental image out there. Speaking of wieners though, Winkies is shriveling up, but Jamarcus's effort is...
It's too little too late.
Fucking assholes.